next thing we're gonna do with Lau Pacinos Miata is he got a new seat. It is right here. Right here. It's brand OMP. I know that's backwards. I got it doing a selfie view on the camera here, but it's OMP, and it is a hard shell bucket racing seat. It is called a Champ R. Lau Pacino is kind of small, so he felt like this seat fit better than the Sparcos or the Recaros, etc. And opted for this one. We went and sat in all of them. We went to Wine Country Motorsports out there at the track in Sonoma. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. It involves a couple of things. One is the seat. Another thing that it involves here are the seat brackets. So we've got one set of sliders. These are the sliders. Those are there. And one seat bracket. This is a Sparco seat bracket. They're kind of universal, so it doesn't matter too much. He also got these side mounts because that seat requires side mounts. So we're going to get this thing all bolted together and put in. Those are some mounting hardware. And he got the 4-point, actually maybe 4-point, I believe, Sparco harnesses. We're going to get all that stuff put in the car and bolted down, and that will be our final thing for the Miata for now until we get some new stuff. Alright, so we ran into a problem with the seat bracket, and the problem was that the hardware that they gave us was the wrong stuff. So we got this hardware here and these nuts. Fortunately, these nuts are too small. They don't thread onto the bolts that they sent us. So we had to go and get new nuts at the hardware store, which isn't a big deal. It's just kind of disappointing that when you're in a project and then you're fired up to do it, then you get these parts that are supposed to be the right stuff from the people that you buy them from, or the manufacturers at that, and then you find out when you come to put it together that it's not right. So that was a little disappointing, but we did get the right stuff, so we are going to now put these brackets together, put them on the seat, get the seat bolted to the car. Putting this seat bracket together has been quite challenging for what it should be anyways. I mean, obviously it's not that big of a deal, but the design and the way that this works is something like this. So we've got this side mount seat bracket, which is a Sparco piece, that goes onto this slider mechanism, which is an OMP piece. And the directions that OMP gives you is very, very vague. It's just not very good. So you might as well just throw those away. Anyways, and then what we got are a bunch of bolts and hardware. And the hardware that we got came with these little tiny wrong sized guys right there. These nuts. So we had to get newer nuts. I believe these are 6mm or 7mm, and what we needed were 8mm. So as you can see, the size there is pretty different. These are the bolts that it came with. It came with 3 different lengths of these 8mm 125 hex head bolts, and the reason why you got to use those kind of hex head bolts is because the clearance inside the rail here, I don't know if you can see down there this rail, but it wouldn't clear here. They would run into each other and hit each other if we used any other bolts there. And I don't know if you can kind of see that there. The washer, that specialized washer, the hex head, goes through the bracket and then bolts in down here with another washer below. Now, this specialized kind of nut washer and this length, this longer bolt goes in here, and then it goes through this hole here, and you can kind of see it fits in the channel there. And then underneath we'll put another washer like this, and the appropriate sized nylon lock nut. Now, the way this all kind of puts together and stuff is a couple of tips on it would be, make sure you put these top ones in that hold the Sparco bracket first, and tighten them down fairly almost tight, maybe half a turn less than tight. So tighten them all the way down, go back it off half a turn so you can, you know, have that play to adjust it for when you put the seat on top. And then this one has this bottom one goes in, and you'll, you know, put the washer and the nut underneath to hold it on the bottom. And you have to tighten that one fairly tight as well. But do the top ones first, or the ones that hold your seat bracket first, and tighten those fairly tight, because then you have to move the slider back and forth to access the holes for the bottom ones. And if you don't tighten them down tight enough, then the top of this one, if you could imagine, if this is in the top, will slide in the channel and then hit that, and it won't let it slide past that, so you won't be able to tighten them down. So you got to make sure that you tighten them all down first. So tighten the bolts down on the top first. My experience was the top first, and then the sliders to the actual bracket, and then you should be able to slide them back and forth to get them into the position to tighten. I had to put this in and take it apart, and put it in and take it apart, bolting down a few times, because to get the proper measurement of the seat width to the actual width of the brackets. You can see here we've got multiple adjustment holes on both the bracket that side mounts the seat and the seat base bracket. We've got 2 bolt holes on either side, so that gives quite a bit of adjustment for width and etc. But on the inside, or closest to the transmission tunnel, we can't move this out too far because it will hit this seat belt attachment point. So that's what we got for that. Just a little tip on assembling that. It does make it a little easier if you have another set of hands, one to hold the bracket and one to line up, and one person to tighten the nuts down. Otherwise you're kind of struggling with it a little bit. Or if you have a vise or something to hold the bracket and so on and so forth. But an extra set of hands on this would definitely help you. That is as far as we got so far with the seat bracket, so I just wanted to kind of give you a little heads up on that, and now we're going to get it all bolted down. So this is a little disappointing. Unfortunately, the seat does not fit in this Miata for the driving position that Lau Pacino needs. I've adjusted it many times, taken it out, put it in, adjusted it, and it just will not fit in here with the driving position that Lau Pacino needs. So unfortunately, it looks kind of cool in there. It just does not fit as it is right now. Maybe we have to make some custom parts or something to fit it in there, but as of right now, it's definitely not gonna fit. The door won't close, as you can see right here. It hits the seat before it even gets close to being closed. And I only have the 2 front seat bolts in there, just barely loosely, and they're all the way maxed out. Side to side adjustment. I could possibly adjust it closer to the transmission tunnel here, but unfortunately, because how close Lau Pacino needs to sit the steering wheel with his legs, that if I moved it any further to the right or transmission tunnel, see, it's already touching the shifter area, so it just doesn't seem like it's gonna fit. And the space between the steering wheel and the seat is just too close. It's just not gonna fit in there, I don't think. I don't know. At this point in time, it's not looking good, but maybe we can get something figured out. So that's a little disappointing. Maybe we'll have a go at it again another day. It's getting kind of late, so we're gonna pack it up for today. Update on the Lau Pacino's Miata. Unfortunately, this seat that he got, it just isn't really gonna fit in it. It's too big for this car. I've taken it apart and put it in multiple times. At this point, it's not looking good. The seat right here is just hitting on the door, and it is not closed all the way even. And I only have 2 bolts on the front of the base of the seat bracket. So that's not good. Problem is it hits the sides there and doesn't allow the door to close. Another problem it has is that it hits the center console on the front side of it, and then the space between the steering wheel and the seat is too small. So it will basically cut your legs off. So in this driving position that Lau Pacino needs, and on these NBs, the steering wheel has no tilt adjustability. So we can't get, you know, the steering wheel to tilt up and out of the way to get in and out. Lau Pacino's here. He got the bad news. He doesn't fit with the seat in there. So he brought the stock one back. There it is. Look at that bad boy. And we're going to have to throw that in real quick. Figure out something else with the seat, the other seat, I'm not really sure.
Alright YouTube, so that's how the seat install went, or didn't for that matter, because we didn't get it installed and it was a little bit disappointing. I put that seat in and out, took it out, adjusted it, readjusted it, tried to figure out any possible way I could get that seat to fit in there with those combination of parts. I don't know what we're going to do about it in moving on. Lau Pacino's going to drive the stock seat for a while, and then hopefully we can do some more research on it and try and figure out what seat does fit in there. If you guys have any ideas on, or if you guys have an NB Miata and have a seat in there, let me know what you're using. I'm thinking that maybe we just have to get a seat without the sliders, or get a different seat entirely that's maybe sort of smaller, thinner, the cushion part between the seat and the base is thinner, but it wasn't that thick when I looked at the OMP seat. I do feel like it was pretty decent for the thickness of the seat, and it also was side mounted, so that makes less space that you would need to have from the bottom of the base to the slider to the seat and mount all that stuff together. At least I felt like, but unfortunately it didn't seem like it was going that way, and the seat was just too big for the car. Miatas are great cars. They're fun for driving and enjoying and modifying and doing all the fun stuff with. They're lightweight. They handle really well. They have lots of aftermarket support on them, so I guess I just got to do a little more research on it. Maybe we just have to get one without the sliders. I don't know. I think that if it didn't have the sliders, it might fit a little bit easier. If it was just stationary, you put it in one position, you leave it mounted there and not be able to move back and forth. But then that creates a difficulty for everyday drivability, and I don't know exactly what Lau Pacino wants to do with the car ultimately. I think that we're gearing it more towards track driving or NASA or autocross, or just, you know, some fun spirited driving that we enjoy doing. However, I think that with that setup like that, we're either going to need a thinner seat, or we're going to need to get something that will just be stationary, and that's just not going to work. We didn't even get a chance to see how those really nice blue seat belts were going to look in there, because we couldn't even get the seat in, and they only really benefit if you put the seat in, because they don't fit around the stock seat and they don't bolt well around the stock seat. So maybe in the future we'll get something figured out about that, and maybe we'll put a different seat in there. The company was really great. They let them bring back the seat. They didn't have any issues with it. Obviously, it wasn't worn or used or damaged, so there's no issue there. But they did say, if it doesn't fit in the car, bring it on back. We'll try and find you something else. And at that point in time, when we brought it back, we just didn't really know what to look for, so we just kind of said, we're just going to return it for now, and we'll come back in the future and hopefully maybe find something that we want in the future. They were accepting of that. We got the money back on it. That went well. Just the seat install didn't go well. I took that seat out many times, try to adjust it, try and get any possible way it could fit in there. I got the door closed mostly, as you saw a little bit earlier, on the final adjustment of it, but then at that seat position there, then Lau Pacino wouldn't even fit in there, and his legs would just get cut off by the steering wheel. And because that car doesn't have an adjustable steering wheel, we weren't able to move that up at all. So you know what, I think maybe it's just a Miata. The Miata's small inside, it just doesn't have a lot of room to work with, so I think that we're going to have to abandon the seat for now. Well, we did abandon the seat for now, and we will have to try and find something in the future that we could put in there if he's interested in it. Stay tuned on the channel for more stuff that we're going to do on the Miata. We got plenty of stuff that we want to do to it, and we're excited to do it. Well, I'm excited to do it. Lau Pacino's, of course, excited to get it done because it's his car, and he buys the parts. I put them in at this moment in time. I kind of do some research, trying to recommend some things to him. Ultimately, it's his say. I enjoy doing the installs, and we enjoy going spirited driving driving and just driving at some of the autocross events and stuff like that, which we haven't done yet with the car, but I'm hoping that we're going to take it out soon to be able to get that done, or to be able to experience it and see how it goes. So yeah, stay tuned on the channel for all that cool stuff and some other cars that I will hopefully be introducing and working on the channel and having some fun with. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys enjoy what you enjoy doing, and I'll see you a little bit later on the channel.